2 or more of our videos and you have not subscribed, then we have what, pal?
Beef.
What do we have?
Beef.
Exactly, so you better get doing that right now. Before we even get started, all right? If you have watched 2 or more of our videos and you have not subscribed,
Tell them.
then we have what, pal?
Beef.
What have we got?
Beef.
Exactly, so you better get doing that right now. Over to you, pal. I'm making this video today that I didn't initially want to make. But there comes a time when we're all at a crossroad and have to make a decision. And sometimes that decision can affect you morally, it can affect you spiritually, and it can affect you financially. But it's a decision that we can't shy away from. Now, recently, Just Pearly Things has been caught up in some controversy. Why? She has interviewed avid racist and known racist Nick Fuentes. He is also an anti-Semite. What did Pearl do when she interviewed him? What she done is that she laughed with him and seems to agree with a lot of his points.
Talk about instances of like when they initially freed the slaves, there were some slaves that felt so indebted to their owners that they would travel across states to pay them back, and they actually had a really good relationship with them.
Now, if she had said some of these things about the Jewish community, she would have been cancelled in a hot minute.
Facts.
Ask
Kyrie Irving.
Ask Kanye West. Now, this isn't about the Jewish community. This is about us. Okay? And so after that interview, Pearl decided to make an apology video, which was, in my personal point of view, disingenuous and a PR stunt. And all in all, it came from a place of deception.
Guys, people say that stuff about me. They say I'm sexist. They say I'm a misogynist. And, you know, I really just like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from. In hindsight, that wasn't smart. And in hindsight, I should have had someone, you know, maybe Sarah Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was, because I certainly was not an expert in any of the stuff that he was talking about.
Now,
So for me, real quick, if you wasn't an expert, then why was you trying to agree with him on all the negative shit that he was saying about my people? Why was you out here trying to sit down and act like there was some part of slavery that we took a liking to? Facts. Because if you really know anything about slavery and if you don't know anything about the Civil War, then what you really should know is that we wasn't traveling no damn where to pay nobody back. The reality is that when slavery was over and we was free, most of these plantations absolutely died.
Facts.
They fell off because we was no longer there to work them, to build them, to do anything.
Facts.
So you lying when you even say that to begin with.
Because guess what you're saying right there real quick. Because I can take you to something that they have over there in Mississippi right now that's just like what you just said.
Ran down and through.
They fell off.
Ran down and through. And the reason was because we not there to run them. So, you know, a lot of the things that people also don't know about what happened after slavery is that some of these slave owners did go back with the slaves, and the slaves went back with the slave owners, but that was on basically a business relationship.
Facts.
Of them getting paid. They was no longer working for free.
No.
So acting it like we was just moving on from the plantation and then just coming back giving up money.
They gave us a piece of the land for ourselves. So what a lot of times what they fail to realize is, so part of what was happening was that so we look at our intelligence level. Look at our intelligence level. So now, being the slave, we go to the guy that used to be, or the woman that used to be the slave owner.
Yeah.
We make a deal with them. We gonna work all of this just like we used to, but now a quarter of this
We're gonna need land, we're gonna need money.
a quarter of this is ours.
Yeah, yeah.
So we gonna get paid off of doing what it was that we was already doing
for free.
anyway.
Yeah.
For free. Now we gonna get paid to do it.
And then my thing is that if you don't have nobody who know the things that we just said, then why was you talking and agreeing with him then? You just said you didn't know everything about this and you ain't that educated, then why was your mouth opening then?
Should have kept it closed.
Come on now, ma'am. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You are two and you pale. I ain't gonna lie. I come for your throat.
Social media for a while, and I have done interviews with the likes of Tommy Robinson, Sargon of Akkad, politicians like Lee Jasper, and also Lin May and people from the music industry like So Solid, Mega Man to be exact. Now, Pearl was reacting to my content prior to coming to the UK. And so when she came to the UK, I was very interested in the content that she would actually put out. And it just so happened that she was putting out content that I was interested in, similar
She
to
was
what
talking about
the
me.
late great Kevin Samuels actually put out. And I understand it because I myself have been embroiled in court cases and things of that nature when it comes to the mother of my son, and understand that the gynocentric order in which we live in is something that needs to be spoken about. So when she came to London, she said that she wanted to make a podcast, and I said, no problem. Okay, let's talk about it. And I decided to feature on her show. Now, when I featured on her show, because of my following in the UK, people would tune in. So essentially, I helped Pearl grow her channel. Okay?
Okay, now look, I had to pause it real quick because there's something I need to say real fast. He the only damn reason I started watching her channel. I was only watching for Sarah Garvin, and I started going to follow his channel and then just start watching his content without her. He damn sure grew the channel because most people, especially black men, was tuning in mainly for him being featured on the episodes. We wasn't tuning in for Pearl.
I was on there week to week, and I was working with her based on a fee. So the tragic death of Kevin Samuels happened, and there was a vacuum within the Manosphere space. Who was it going to be filled by? It was actually filled by just Pearly Things along with other content creators. Now, I believe that the reason why this space was filled is because Kevin Samuels had a large following of black men. And these black men were essentially fed up with the way feminism had taken over their community, specifically their women.
Facts.
So when he died, there was a vacuum and a lot of black men looking for content like this. And it was filled by Pearl. And I believe that Pearl rose to fame because she herself was the opposite of what those men had been seeing. She was a white woman. She wasn't the types of women that they had been seeing. And essentially, she was regurgitating Kevin Samuels' content.
Facts.
So I began working with Pearl, and from the beginning, I started to think that maybe this girl has a colonial mindset. Now, we all know that we don't want to be paranoid, so I kept working with her. However, the more I worked with her is the more that I saw. She had a colonial type viewpoint when it came to black people. And I had to school her a few times on what it was like to be black and the black experience, and also what slavery and colonization was actually like. Do you think that historical catastrophes must be compensated for?
No,
No.
that's stupid.
So then, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah.
So then, how come there were groups of people that got compensation then?
How
For
come?
instance, like Jewish people, Chinese people, Japanese people with the bombs. Like there were groups of people who got compensated.
The
I
natives.
don't know.
So it wasn't fair.
What? Well, I'm talking about like when I think about group, I think about reparations. So I don't.
Okay, so I gotta chime in and go in real quick, right? So she said when she think about groups, she think about reparations. So basically, it was okay that the natives got paid. It was okay that the Japanese people got paid off of what we did during Pearl Harbor, right? And what we did to the Japanese people that was living here when we went through that war, right? Okay, and then it was okay for the Jewish people to get paid for the Holocaust. But her only thought process was, when I think of group, I think of reparations. But reparations is what all these other groups got. These other groups got reparations. But you only got a problem when it's us. That's crazy.
And you got to remember, and she was talking to her earlier, that the fact that he had to school her. He had to school her
And he finna do it right now.
on a lot of different things because we got to remember she had a colonial type mindset is what he was talking about.
And he finna keep it breaking
So,
it down.
and what he's going to do is that he going to keep breaking it down. But what we going to do is that we going to get this in the next video.